Michigan, Manager of Advocacy, Lisa Cooper. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Bart. It's great to be here today.
Yeah, nice to see you again. And I want to thank AARP Michigan. For a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, we went to Grandparents' Day.
Yes.
And played mini golf at Sharp Park, and you had a food truck, and pretty cool event.
Yes, lots of fun.
So you, Manager of Advocacy, what does that mean?
So advocacy at AARP means that we are involved in bringing about good public policy, better public policy for people who are age 50 and over and their families.
So you guys don't get political, you don't advocate on behalf of a candidate or a party, but issues.
Exactly. We're nonpartisan, we're a nonprofit. We get involved in issues before the legislature or before Congress, but never, like you said, on behalf of a particular candidate or opposing a particular candidate or party.
So we have a number of issues that people who are in the aging or retired population, and one of those you have a special interest in, and that is brain health.
Yes.
You're also co-chair of the Michigan Dementia Coalition, and you're on AARP's Brain Health Cabinet. So first, brain health. So you have a personal interest in this, right?
Yes. So I actually started to pay attention to brain health and dementia just about 6-7 years ago now, when we learned that my dad had what we didn't know at the time, but later we learned was a type of dementia, frontotemporal dementia. And that was a type of dementia, you hear about it actually in the news now. Bruce Willis, people
Bruce
may
Willis
have heard, has been diagnosed with this type of dementia recently. But this is one of the types of dementia, and lots of times people are confused or scared or maybe in denial about different sorts of changes that might happen in someone's brain. Dementia is not a particular disease. It is kind of a combination of these manifestations that may be as a result of a particular brain disease or damage to the brain. And it results in people having a decline in their thinking skills, in their memory, in their decision-making skills. But it's not always about memory loss. And that was the thing with my dad's situation that was the kicker for us. We didn't recognize it was dementia because we thought dementia was all about losing your memory. Mm-hmm. And he didn't ever lose his memory. He had these other things that happened, changes in his behavior and physical symptoms that happened as well.
So is everyone eventually going to get dementia?
No, and that's something that people are really scared about. Mm-hmm. When we do our AARP surveys of what issues are important to people as they age, always up on the top, one of the very top issues is staying sharp as you age. Mm-hmm. But in truth, the majority of older adults don't have dementia, and most people will never get dementia. And that's one of the messages as we are talking about brain health issues at AARP that we want to make sure that people are aware of. That's one of the reasons that we're going to do this series that's coming up on Thursdays in October.
All right, so there are all these places that are advertising pills and books and everything. I'm pretty wary of any of that working, but there are things that people can do for themselves and their families.
Exactly, and that is specifically what we're going to talk about on the first Thursday of our series, what AARP calls the 6 pillars of brain health. So AARP has convened this collaborative called the Global Council on Brain Health, and it's over 200 scientists and researchers and public policy people from around the globe who examine the science, the latest brain science, and come to a consensus on what works and what doesn't. And you are right to be wary of the things that we see advertised on TV. Turns out the key to optimizing your brain health, regardless of your age, isn't a superfood or a pill. It's what we call the 6 pillars of brain health, these lifestyle habits that everybody, regardless of age, can improve their bodies, their brains, if they tend to them. And that's what we're going to talk about. Our first session in October, on October 5th, we're going to give the basics of dementia, what people should know, and talk about those things that everybody can do, regardless of your age, to maximize your cognitive health throughout your lifetime into your older years as well.
And these are available to anyone. You don't have to go someplace. It's being done online.
Yes, we are doing this as a virtual program, and people can go online at our AARP Michigan website or our Facebook page. We've got a registration link where you can go and sign up at aarpmi.org/2023 Disrupt. Do we have that there? I think
Disrupt
2023. Yes, you have it on the screen. You sign up, and then we'll send you the links and reminders for each program. But we'll be doing it every Thursday in October at 11 o'clock each of those Thursdays.
How about now, is Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, are they part of dementia?
So yes, and so that will be some of our later sessions. Alzheimer's is a type of dementia. It's the most common type of dementia. So it's what we tend to hear about the most. You'll say maybe 60 to 80% of people who have dementia have Alzheimer's. But there are these other types of dementias that affect, 20 to 40% of the people that get dementia. We want to talk about those too. So things like Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's disease. We will have people who are going to talk about both of those types of dementia and other related adult cognitive disorders on the third Thursday. Okay. We'll have, for that session, we're going to have the director of the Michigan Parkinsons Foundation and the director of the Michigan Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. Okay. And we skipped over the second Thursday of the month in October. I'm really excited about that program. We're going to have Dr. Jason Karlawish, who is the author of a book called The Problem with Alzheimer's. And he's the head of the Penn Memory Center. He's an author. He's a doctor in practice. And he is going to be joined on that program by a group of recently retired physicians from Michigan who themselves now have dementia.
Oh, wow.
So they were in practice, and now they are people living with dementia. And so they've got this unique perspective from kind of the both sides of the desk as a doctor. And they're going to talk about what patients should know and what they wish they knew when they were practicing, when they were seeing patients that would exhibit signs of cognitive decline.
All right, so we know what 3 of the 4 topics are, so we ought to find out what the 4th and final one is about.
Yes. So the 4th and final one, we're going to invite Sarah Locke, who's AARP's Senior Vice President for Policy and Brain Health, and she's the Executive Director of the Global Council on Brain Health.
Oh, wow.
She is going to be joined by a couple other researchers who were part of a new report that the Global Council on Brain Health put out just earlier this year. And that report and what they're going to talk about are the disparities in terms of brain health and dementia. Things like, why is it that women are twice as likely to end up with Alzheimer's than men? Why is it that African American folks are more likely to get dementia, to be diagnosed with dementia than white folks? Things like that. These sorts of disparities among different demographic groups. And kind of getting at what are the causes now that science has been able to figure out, and what are the things that we can do to close that gap, what are the things that we can do if we are in one of these groups that has a greater likelihood of getting dementia? What are the kinds of things that we can do to, again, make it less likely that we ourselves or someone in our family or our friends will end up facing some kind of cognitive decline as they age?
Yeah, because it's not just you have to worry about. If this happens to someone in your family, believe me, it's going to happen to you. As a caregiver, in fact, you were your dad's caregiver, right?
Yes, that's exactly the situation. I know in my personal life, I never thought at all about dementia or brain health. The 6 pillars of brain health, these healthy habits that people talk about, you learn about it in high school health class. Your doctor tells you, get your exercise, eat right. All these things, they didn't really resonate with me until I became a caregiver for my dad. And then that's when you start thinking about these things. You start thinking, one, what can I do to help make sure that my dad, that my family member, can still have a good quality of life, can still experience joy and live well, even though they have dementia. But then the other thing that you start thinking about is, okay, now I know this is in my family. What can I do to keep this from happening to my brain? And that's the other piece of what we're talking about. What are the things that we all can do to optimize our brain health as we age? Did you want me to tell you what the 6 habits are really quick?
Really
and then
quick.
We're going to dive into them at the October program.
All right, write these down, grab a pencil.
Move more. So exercise, eat right, get enough sleep. Sleep is so much more important than I ever realized. Manage your stress, discover new things, learn new things, and then finally stay socially connected. Whether you have dementia or not, whatever your age is, it's important to stay socially connected. Don't let yourself get isolated.
It all makes sense, and you'll learn more about it at these 4 sessions coming up starting in October on the 5th. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Bart. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about this work. I know it's really important to a lot of people.
It is. And it's amazing and fascinating. AARP Michigan's Manager of Advocacy, Lisa Cooper. We've got more